Yes, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. This is interesting. This is really interesting. I've been looking at Lokonga's statistics, and he's engaged himself directly in more goals in the past two seasons, the Belgian league, than Renato Sanchez has done in the League One. And I had an argument in my head: is certainly Lokonga better than Renato Sanchez? Just a question. Just a question. Let me know down in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Renato Sanchez could be? Do you think Lokonga could be better than Renato Sanchez? In this video, we're gonna discuss how how Lokonga could fit in at Arsenal. That is his heat map on my screen, and you can see how busy he is on the pitch. Red is where you have a lot of action, and then yellow is where you don't have a lot of concentration for the player in terms of average possession. So welcome back to the channel, lads. Welcome back. My name is Cossy. Do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It's gonna be a very, very short one where we discuss Albert Sambi Lokonga. Try to get into what he can provide. Thanks. I want to say a special thank you to Statman Dave, because I used his channel as part of research. So please do check out Statman Dev, his channel, especially Statman Dev clips. Make sure you check it out. It's very, very useful. So I used it as part of my research, and a couple of websites like SofaScore, and I think I used SofaScore. I think I used Who Scored as well. They also are very, very good in terms of providing statistics and average positions of teams and players as well. So let us get into it. And if we are going to get into it, the first thing is, how would we line up with Albert Sambi Lokonga? What do we get in, from signing him, and how does he fit into this Arsenal side of Mikel Arteta? Right. So let us get the party started. And to begin with, I think with Lokonga, it's as easy as this. It's either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, where you have Lokonga stretching a little bit around here. Then you have Emile Smith-Rowe and Partey, in a 4-3-3. But I think Arsenal will predominantly line up in a 4-2-3-1 when Albert Sambi Lokonga plays with Thomas Partey in that pivot. There are a couple of suggestions especially from Charles Watts, that maybe Lokonga could be coming in as an understudy to Thomas Partey, not really as a direct replacement to Granit Xhaka. Of course, with Xhaka leaving the club for Roma, the deal is expected to happen very, very soon. You need that player who replaces him, and the first signing in the midfield is Albert Sambi Lokonga. So how would we sign? How does Lokonga fit in Arsenal? I think with the lineup, it's more like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. And according to Statman Dave, this is why I really liked about his channel. It says Lokonga, and his biggest strength is the calm. How calm he is on the ball. That is his biggest strength as a defensive midfielder. So if you have him in this area, you have him, man, almost all around this area. So we'll use this. So you have him, in that area. You have, him getting in that area and bossing around the midfield in such a manner. Of course, occasionally, like we've seen it, we can see on his heat map last season. If you look at his heat map, he's basically playing, around the center arc. His concentration is just around the center arc, and that is what you want from, a central midfielder or a CDM, at the moment. Because with Granit Xhaka, he's more placed on the left hand side of the pitch. If you look at his average positions, and you look at his heat maps, he's more of a left-handed player. With Thomas Partey, I think he's more of a right-hand side player. But you need that person, you need that player that just rotates around that center arc. That just rotates around that midfield. And for me, it is Lokonga. For you could just get another shape around it, because that is the Thomas Partey territory. So you could have him also stretch around this area as well. So what does he bring at Arsenal? That's the biggest question. We know where he's gonna play. That's where Xhaka has been playing. We have had a couple of players there. Does he have the vibe? I don't think he has the vibe because he's a very, very calm player on the ball. And I think we can judge him from last season, because last season he apparently played 33 games, close to 2,900 minutes for Anderlecht. That is enough to judge a player. 33 starts for a player. That is pretty much decent, and you could judge him, with last season, and he had very, very good numbers. So with Lokonga, his average position is a little bit deeper than as compared to either Housem Awa or as compared to if you brought in a Renato Sanchez, because with Renato, if we could just get a player here with Renato, you could have him his average position around here, around this area. With Albert Sambi Lokonga, his average position is a little bit deeper, so it shows you how a little bit conventional he is in terms of being that CDM. And what that gives you, if a player sits as deep as this, and he's a 6 or a defensive midfielder, then you have your central midfielder, in this case the 8, who could be Thomas Partey, just around this area. So he allows Thomas Partey to play box to box and get that rhythm, get that freedom to around the midfield, and things like that. He's just 21 years of age. Don't get me wrong. Like I started with the wrong comparison to Renato Sanchez, but honestly, if we speak about it, this guy has better numbers than Renato Sanchez in terms of tackling. If we look at if you look at WhoScored.com, I used them as part of my research for this video, and they'll show you that his strongest attributes are dribbling, passing, tackling, and ball interception. So basically, that explains his heat map very, very well, why you have him more concentrated in this area. Basically, he doesn't go too close to the opponent's box, and he doesn't actually go too far away from his box as well. So he's in the middle there, trying to steal the ball back, and then give it to either Thomas Partey or whoever would be playing in that area. So with Albert Sambi Lokonga, the good thing here is, like Statman Dev says, you have him as a player who can actually fall back and give Hector Bellerin or whoever is going to be playing in the right back position the time to move up front, and it's very, very calm. Last season, actually, in 33 games, he got only 3 yellow cards. In 33 games. So for me, that is really discipline, because 3 yellow cards, you don't even qualify to sit one game. Because I might be wrong here, because he's just 21. He's been playing in a very, very weak league in Belgium. If you compare the Belgian league to the intensity of the Premier League, it is so different. Everything changes. It's like coming from heaven to hell. Everything changes, and in this case, of course, the Premier League is hell for Lokonga. So what do we get? How do we then play with Albert Sambi Lokonga? How does he affect our play and our playing style? So let us get the marks right around here. Right. So let's get the twos here. So with Lokonga, I think his ability is, give me the ball. It's gonna collect that ball from the likes of Leno, the likes of all the center backs in this area a lot. So he would help us play from the back. That's one of the things I think Arsenal really want to do, and Mikel has been really, really struggling with it, playing out from the back. And I think with playing out from the back, you need players that are very calm. Lokonga, that is one of his attributes. You need players that are very, very calm. With Xhaka, and we saw it against Burnley, right? I think it was against Burnley, and then against Everton. With Xhaka, when you have a goalkeeper that is not so good at playing out the ball, you've got to be so confident, because here in this area, it is Granit Xhaka receiving the ball. So I think with Lokonga, because his dribbling is accurate, because his passing is accurate. I think not as accurate as Xhaka's. I think Xhaka is has more experience in terms of passing the ball and moving it forward. But Lokonga gets this ball in this area, and then we'll either make a short pass to Thomas Partey in there. Either is gonna make these I don't know how you call them, either diagonal passes to the 7 who would be Saka, to Nicola Pepe in this area, or occasionally dribble until this area. If you look at his heat map, he receives the ball around this area, and then he dribbles around this area and then gets the pass in again, and of course he's gonna pick out these passes to Saka or Hector Bellerin, or occasionally you have Emile Smith Rowe around here, and Partey's always ahead of him, so you have Lokonga getting into Partey and probably creating a few chances for the striker. In the past, like I said, in the past 2 seasons, he's involved himself in 8 goals. 8 goals. As a CDM, for me, that is fine, because what particularly what it gives us is we get to use Thomas Partey in the midfield. We get to see the full abilities of Thomas Partey, because Partey knows now, I have someone who's gonna pass the ball for me. I have someone who's gonna tackle for me. I have someone who's gonna intercept the ball for me. So the defensive responsibilities are then taken away from Thomas Partey to Albert Lokonga, who I think is very, very good at that. With Granit Xhaka, you can't give him the defensive abilities in the midfield first and foremost, but also you can't trust him when it comes to dribbling the ball from these areas to these areas. And I think that is what you love with Albert Lokonga. All I can say is all the best. I don't want to say he's gonna be a big player, and I can't say it's not, he's gonna be a flop. All I can say, great signing in terms of the value, great potential. And then you're just getting him at 22 million euros, which is around 17 million pounds, and that's one of the things many people are talking about. The Arsenal are really getting this on a very serious bargain. It's a big bargain. So how do you think we will line up with Albert Lokonga? Is he the right player? And do you think we should buy in a Xhaka replacement, or we should use Lokonga as our perfect Granit Xhaka replacement? I'll speak to you live at exactly 6.